Good morning, everyone. So it's the Friday after launch, after the next day weekly reset, and we are in Iskara with the Tuskar. I wanted to get on because I've run into a couple of things, and you may already know this. There's probably some of you that are already 70, uh, but I've run across some of this stuff, and you know that I follow a lot of YouTubers. I follow Harlden. I've done his speed running campaigns. I follow Jedith. I've taken his Demon Hunter builds. Um, of course, I watch Tally and all the big ones, but a couple of them had told me a couple of things, and I wanted to kind of clear a couple of things up because I kind of took what they said at face value. I'm going to go back to full screen here. Um, and kind of went along with it. And one thing I found out was it was totally wrong. So you can see I got the dragon from the second area, which is uh, this area here. I don't know how you say that. Tholdras, Thaldrazis, whatever that is. Okay, so questing through here, you're going to get the second dragon. The first one you get is this red one, if you don't know that already. But I had a couple of creators that said, yeah, just go ahead and get the dragon glyphs as you go along. It's much easier that way. Then you don't have to go deviate and all that. And there's a couple of YouTubers that said you can get all of the dragon glyphs in 15 minutes. That is if you know how to dragonfly. Now, I didn't get to participate in the beta. I did very little try on the public test realm because it was almost launch time. Plus, I spent the last 2 weeks farming the crap out of gear, and I'm glad I did because the 252 gear that you got from the elemental invasions has helped me uh, at least survive, sort of. I actually had to change my spec from balance to guardian because the stuff here hits really hard for a balanced druid. And so, but number one, dragon riding. Okay, it's awesome if you understand how to do it. And I'm going to kind of show you how it's done, but I wanted to point out these little round circles at the bottom here. This is your vigor. This determines how long you stay in the air. When you first start out, when you first get your mount, you get your first mount back here in the Waking Shores. When you get up to the Ruby Life Pools, you'll get your first dragon riding. You go through a couple training things and so on. And if you have handy notes, you can see right here, I have a dragon glyph that I have not got yet there. I'll be going back to get that very soon. There's a couple here that I haven't got actually. But I went through and I got all of them. Some of them, to be perfectly honest, were a giant pain in the ass, even though I watched half a dozen videos because I didn't know anything about dragon riding. Um, they sucked. They were horrible. And so um, when you learn how to dragon ride, you want your vigor up. I was trying to get around the Waking Shores with 3 bubbles, and I had a hell of a time because, again, I didn't know how to dragon ride. So I spent about 2 hours last night. I went through and I got all 6. You get those by going into, if you click on the little dragon thing up here and look on your dragon riding skills, you get your increase to 4 with the very first point. It goes to 5. Uh, let's see, down here somewhere, right there it's 5. And then when you get to the bottom, I went with this one. Your vigor recharges after you mine a node or gather an herb. It increases by 10% for 10 seconds because this is a gather. You can do the same thing for killing an enemy. And then for the last line, I haven't gone to these. I haven't gone to this one yet. I got these 2. Your vigor increased to 6. That has helped me a ton. Don't wait to do it. Do it right now. Do that basically when you get your first dragon. Go get all of them because it's going to save you so much time. Um, when I first started out, I went through the Waking Shores and I completed all of the quests, all of the side quests. The only side quest I have, I believe this is a dungeon quest. There's some dungeon quests. I haven't done those. Then I went to, I think you go to Orphan Plains next. Um, and quested all through here. I do have one quest right on the edge here. There are a couple that I stopped doing side quests because number one, with the gathering and everything, I'd already level 65. I've heard a couple of YouTubers say that if you just do the quest line, you're going to get to about I think it was 68.2 or 67.2, something like that. Um, and I didn't want to do that. So I didn't want to have to go after I turned 70 and turn back around and go. So I did some side quests. Well, big mistake. If you want to follow the campaign quest all the way through to the very end, you're going to have a couple of areas where you're going to have to do side quests, and you have to decide which area you want to do that. Now, there are four main factions, and let me see if I can find these guys. I found these guys earlier, and so there's a couple of areas that have quartermasters. There's one I believe he is in. Oh my gosh, in the Orphan Plains somewhere in here that you can get stuff with reputation. Um, let's see the fish vendor. No, it wasn't that guy. It was I think it was this guy. No, yeah, maybe it was. Um, he has mounts. There are actually two uh, vendors for mounts here. You can get mounts, but you have to your renown at level 30, and they also use mastodon tusks and aquatic maw and dragonelle supplies. Now you can pick up dragonelle supplies from adventure packs. They are literally everywhere. You can pick those up. Let me see if this guy here is. They call him a lead craftsman, but he's kind of a vendor for all of the stuff. And again, you're going to have to decide what you want to do. So you've got enchanting stuff here. There's tons and tons of jewel crafting recipes in both of the areas that I've seen. Uh, this one is a leatherworking. There's a an engineering. There's tons, like I said, tons of designs for jewel crafting. You've got a uh, cooking knife and renown rank 15. There's more. There's just tons and tons of stuff once you get your renown up. So the Tuskar is one of the good places. You're going to want to max out your renown with all of the factions. So you can see I'm level 3 or 4 on all four of them right now. Um, the Centaur I think is what the Maruk is. Yeah, the Maruk Centaur. You're going to get reputation leveling up for these. I haven't done a much outside of the side quest in the very first area, and I've managed to get to level 3. But at some point, I'm going to have to come back and get all of these side quests. You can see here in Tuscara, there's one there. There's just tons and tons and tons of side quests, and they're all going to give reputation. In fact, most of them only give reputation. I have got a couple of quests that have given me some gear, and I've actually replaced several pieces. As you can see, my level. Oh, I wanted to show you that over here while I'm walking over. My item level now is 289. This guy. There's one of these guys that sells a piece of equipment that is level 309. That's pretty good for a vendor item, considering we go into this at the highest level, generally not including raids and mythics, at 252. So most of these I have replaced already. I got a 312 hood, 309 neck. A lot of this stuff you're going to be replacing in the first little while. 309 weapon. I still have my trinkets from the invasions. I've replaced both of my rings, my boots, my legs. My belt only went up 7 levels, as did my gloves, but I replaced those all through questing, and I have got the rare and epic procs on those, which has helped a ton. I want to say I just got one that procced epic. I don't remember. I think it was the headpiece that procced epic. I'm not sure. Anyway, that is still a thing that was happening in Shadowlands. I think it did happen in Legion too. But you're going to have to decide which one you want to concentrate on first. So you're going to have to go online. I would suggest Wowhead. Go to Wowhead, look at what each reputation offers, where their quartermaster is, and start working on renown for them. They also have quest givers inside of a tent. I know there was one in a tent in the Orphan Plains, I believe it was. I can't remember exactly where the what the area was, but you'll find them when you start looking around. There's a quest giver in the tent where you can turn in um, the supplies that you pick up for reputation. I would suggest if you have those now, you're going to want to do that this weekend. Um, where'd my calendar go? My calendar vanished under all of my add-ons. Thank God all of the add-ons are finally working. But your calendar is now missing. This weekend is, from what I understand, the Dark Moon Fair. Um, so you get additional reputation with that. And God, oh, there it is, right there in front of my face. So there we go. Dark Moon Fair starts Sunday, runs this entire week. You'll get a reputation boost. I'm thinking that you have to go ride the carousel. I'm not 100% sure, but because I've never really focused on reputation, but I am this time because I have so many crafters. I ended up with, I believe, 31 level 60s, and all of them, I think, are geared. Maybe one is not geared at 252 or above. So you're going to want to use this Dark Moon Fair week to turn in those reputation. So if you have a lot of the adventure supplies, hang on to those and turn those in during the Dark Moon Fair. Second thing I wanted to bring up was the cost of goods. Now I started leveling up my warlock, my affliction warlock. I turned my demonology warlock to for my main into affliction because affliction was just wrecking everything. And so I switched him, and unfortunately, that was the only character that I could log on to on launch day. I'm sure a lot of you had issues. I logged in for about an hour, and finally I said to hell with it, and I went upstairs and started watching Netflix, and it was about, I want to say 7 Pacific before I finally came back down and logged in. So I started with my Affliction Warlock. It was the only one that I could get to log in. Started working through the first area or two. Actually got to dragon riding. Got dragon riding and couldn't log in again. I got booted off. The server went down. So the next day I thought, well, I'm going to start leveling up this druid because this is a gatherer. Both of my professions are gathering skills, mining and herbalism, which I thought would be the most efficient for making gold. And I'm not even going to get into leveling stuff up, your specializations and whatnot. This is something, there are a million videos on YouTube you can go through. I went with the things I did based on what I thought would be best, making the most out of my gathering to start with. Then, in order to do herbalism and mining efficiently, you have to have dragon riding. But I wanted to kind of show you some of the stuff that it's been really sad. And I did um, this gather because I wanted to make gold. And then I started seeing the price of things. Um, it just kind of floored me how horrible it was. So these awakened things are crafting reagents, rousing air, uh, rousing order. You can sell these, but they're not selling. These are selling for quite a bit. These things. This was 1,000 gold. This is 47. 480 for an awaken. You combine 10 rousings to create an awaken, which I just did right there. 480 gold. The 10 rousing orders, awakened order, they're 2,400. But then I started looking at the cost of herbs and ore, and it just floored me. There's a couple of these. These are selling for 59 gold. These are selling for 38 gold, but there's some of this stuff that is just unbelievably cheap. Um, I think I mailed a lot of this to my mage that's actually in Orgrimmar. 80 gold for Kazgarite, but some of these were so cheap that I was like, why am I even bothering gathering this stuff? Because there you go, 5 gold, 70 silver minimum buyout for Hawk and Bloom. 5 gold for a brand new herb. Well, the people that are posting on the auction house have either one, they don't understand how economics work with supply and demand, or two, they're just stupid and they want to lower the price so that they can just sell their shit. They don't care. They don't understand that Hawk and Bloom should be up around where it says they're about 25 gold each, and they're at 6 because some idiot posted a bunch for 3 gold. Okay, somebody's going to flip those hopefully, but it just kind of goes to show you the thought process behind a chunk of Warcraft players. They have no clue what anything's worth, and they just try and dump it. And it irritates me because I'm one that I want to pay for my Warcraft subscription with WoW tokens, and I can't because I have to deal with this crap where people just undercut and undercut and undercut. I was actually posting bags. I quit posting bags because everybody was undercutting, and it got to the point where it was more expensive to buy the thread than it was to sell them, just because some idiot just wanted to sell their stuff and get rid of it. And so these new meats, some of them like this mighty mammoth ribs are 11 gold, 87 silver for a buffalo flank, 6 gold for this hunk, 1 gold 50 for waterfowl fillet. Okay, you don't get these by just walking through the jungle. Okay, you actually have to spend time to kill the things to get these items. And to sell these for 1 gold, it's absolutely ridiculous. My time is worth a hell of a lot more than 1 gold. And that's basically what you're doing is you're trading time for gold. That's how you make gold in Warcraft. How much time do I want to spend and how much do I want to make for that time? And it's just ridiculous. Here we go, 63 stamina, selling for 20 cents, 20 silver. Fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry. If you're the ones, if you don't agree with me, fine. I totally understand that, but I think it's complete bullshit that people do this just to sell their stuff to make a couple of gold. When there's some of us that really try to maximize the market and use economics. Anyway, having said that, um, the thing you need to do, like I said, is get dragon riding up, and then get through the story campaign. My story campaign is taking me here to the Azure alignment, which is next to the Azure Vault, which is one of the dungeons. We also have the dungeon over here in the Tuskar called the Brackenhide Hollow, and then I also have another, uh, campaign up at the top. This one is the one at the Azure Archives. I'm not sure what the other one is. Um, I think it's just turning into someone or meeting someone somewhere. Anyway, so we're gonna go dragon riding. So it's best if you only have 3 to get up somewhere as high as you can by walking because you're gonna run out. So you're gonna hit. I hit my space bar and it automatically does my skyward ascent, and then you want to angle down just a little bit and should start getting uh, some blue streaks coming off. Maybe I'm not down enough. I haven't gotten gone fast enough. There we go. You see the wind start gathering. Okay, now we're going to shoot up high. Yeah, there's the expedition scout packs. Like I said, they're everywhere. When the screen starts moving in, you're going at maximum speed. And as you can see, my vigor is regenerating as I'm flying. That's what you want. Not having vigor regenerating while you're flying is a huge issue because you never ever have any skyward ascents available to you. So I got a couple. We're going to hit a couple here. We're going to go way up high. Now understand this. When you are out getting the glyphs, there are some that are a giant pain. They're at the top of this, like this big mountain here, or they're up in the middle uh, of a tower. Some of them, they're over the top of a molten lava pool. Some of them are very, very hard to get to, and it will take you some time, but I promise you, it is worth your time to go do it, to get those 6 uh, balls of vigor. I lost mine, so I'm floating down. I'm not going to worry about it. But you see how close these things are. We want to be able to hop from mining node to herb to mining node because this is a double gather, and so we want to hop around as much as we can. So we're gonna mine this rich servite ore here. drop off the dragon, mine that. See, there's a frigid hawk and bloom. There are different levels of herbs and mines. Some of these have fire around them. They give you a fire debuff, and they'll kill you if you don't heal through them. And so you want to keep an eye on that. But uh, that's how you generate vigor while you're in the air. You have to tilt down. Just look at that. I just ding 68. Um, you have to tilt down a little bit, and you want the screen to move in, and your flight to get those little red streaks coming off of it. That way you can fly around, and I've actually flown all the way across the map using that. It took me 2 days to figure out how to do this. By no means was I an expert right off the bat. I got so frustrated because I'd end up landing and I'd land right on top of an elite and I was screwed. And that's why I switched over to Guardian, because I figured if this guy's going to be a gather, he's got to be able to survive everything. I'm probably going to get attacked by that thing that just walked over there. So we're going to fish. Fish is something that seems to have kept its value pretty good. You do have the option to interact, have an interact button. My interact button is just the default, which is F. So if I put my mouse over that and I'm watching Netflix and I have the sound up and I hear the splash, all I have to do is click F. When I hear the splash, I'll click F right here and kind of show you what happened. And I believe this is supposed to be for mobs also. I haven't done that. I clicked F and it caught it without touching my mouse. Then I have my tilt button is my cast button. So basically all I have to do is put my mouse over the top of it, go back to watching Netflix. I can fish forever and ever and ever. Anyway, so you have that option. Um, so fish, like I said, fish is one that you can get reputation points with certain fish. I have a quest to catch. Um, what is it? They're like 3 or 4 or 10 um, aileron sea moths, whatever the hell that is. That's for some uh, reputation with the Tuskar. I don't mind fishing; it doesn't bother me at all. I know some people can't stand sitting around fishing; it drives them crazy. If you've watched my video last month uh, during the Dark Moon Fair, I caught hundreds of uh, fish, and I made some Dark Moon Fair potions. And I actually, those sold pretty good. They went up, they were super cheap. They went up to about 150 gold. I have not logged on to that character since I posted those, but I need to and see how many of them sold. They were about 150 gold each, and I had a couple, several hundred of those. I haven't decided whether I want to fish during this one or not. I don't think it's worth my time, because just selling the junk that you gather, I don't think I've been under 500 gold. Just when I go to turn in, I find a repair person, go turn it in, or I can pop on my yak and sell all the junk, and it's been 3, 4, 5, 600 every time. So the junk that you sell just killing mobs is going to pay for your repairs and be more profitable than selling some of the low end stuff. Let's fish right here real quick. So that's a good way to make gold. I'm really disappointed that I spent all this time on my gatherer and gathering herbs and ore, and they don't sell. That's very, very disappointing. I know the first couple of days it did sell a lot. There are talks, I've seen videos of tailors gathering cloth and um, making cloth, low end cloth stuff, disenchanting it and selling the disenchanting items for tons of gold. But stuff like herbs and ore, it's not as as pricey, so you're not making as much gold. I thought I could make 300,000 or 400,000. I could maybe get a WoW token with the first week, and I don't think there's any way in hell that that's going to happen, unfortunately. But what I can do is I can farm the herbs and the ore and the fish, and I can send this to my alts who do crafting. I have a warrior that I actually geared um, up to 352. I'm going to take them through the first little bit of the campaign. I don't really want to get them all the way to 70, and then so that they can start crafting. He can craft. Weaponsmith is probably going to be number one. Let me see. Oh, there's an ore. Let's grab that ore, and it's in a cave. There's a herb here somewhere. Um, Weaponsmithing, because weapons are really hard to come by. That's something I've noticed in every expansion. In fact, there were several expansions where getting a weapon, especially for a demon hunter, was almost impossible. I don't know why, but they didn't put any weapons for demon hunters in there. Wow, this is a very populous area. See, and because I had that fourth bubble there, I was able to hop up and out of there and survive with those mobs. That's why I said go get those ASAP. Um, So I'm gonna do that. I'm going to send all of this stuff to my crafters and have them start crafting. You do get cloth if you do have a tailor. My tailor, unfortunately, on this server is a mage. I don't know how a mage is gonna do. I haven't played a mage. I played mage back in BC when I could excuse me freeze them in place and